Hi, this is Pam, Flower Patch Farmhouse, and today I'm going to shop my garden, and I'm going to take up a division of a plant that grows prolifically here. It does beautifully, it blooms all summer long, it's tough, lives through the winter, and it's sterile. It's a hybrid hardy geranium that does not self-propagate by seed, which is a good thing because they can get pretty crazy coming up everywhere if you don't have the ones that are sterile. But here's my greenhouse. Someone said they wanted to see my greenhouse. Here is the hardy geranium that I want to divide. This is called Roseanne. I have it in two spots in my garden, and I had divided one, planted this extra here. Here's a strawberry plant that can go for now. And you see, I had cut this all the way back down in fall. It'll get quite tall. But what I love about this one is it blooms all summer long on into fall. But I want to divide it because I have been shopping the garden to get more plants that I know that thrive here. So I want to divide this one. I have my knife, garden knife. Now that's if I just wanted to pop out a few of the plants. I could also dig up the whole mass and then divide it that way. But I also can dig like an individual piece. Now down in here is a slug. Get him out of there. But you can see where the individual plants are rooted. There's one there, and then there's one here, and there's one here. So maybe digging it up would be easier than just digging out the individual portions and then dividing that way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to divide the whole thing. I'm going to have to work all the way around it. And I admit my shovel is old and tired and chipped, but it still does the job for me because my soil is fairly loose and well composted. Try to get back far enough that I know I'm going to get a good amount of roots. And I'm getting down deep because it is well rooted. Heard that pop? That was a main tap root, but it's okay. This thing continues on. Look at those roots. Beautiful. Let me see if I have enough of it up to pull up. So, okay, there's some roots going that direction. Okay, so now I have the main whole plant up here, and I can just go in with my shovel and just chop them apart, or I can go in with my knife. And there's a plant there. You see how all the points come together here? That is a plant. So I want to go down and get as much root as I can with my garden knife. And I'm just chopping through roots here and hoping I'm getting some. Oh yes, I got a big taproot with that one. Look at that. So what I'm going to do is put that in one of my cans. I got these 1 gallon cans. I'm going to put a portion of soil in the bottom. Now you can just go right to the garden and plant this, but we are going to have a few days of 90 degrees. And that's not the best time to transplant plants. It will cool back down. That is an unusually warm temperature for June, or for May, I should say. It's not even June yet. It's unusual for June, but in May, it's just unprecedented. Last year at this time, we were still getting snow, so that tells you how weird our weather's been. But there, I have this one in the pot. I will water it well, and I will put it in the shade underneath my deck where it's still wet from the winter rains. It's very moist and humid and cool, so even during this hot time, it'll be nice under there for these. So here's another one. Look at that taproot. I'm going to put one back here because it did so well here, and I loved it right here with next to these crazy daisies. So now I'm going to, let me see, which one should I put in the pot? Maybe this one, because it's not quite as big. This one can go back in the ground right here. And I will replant it. It'll look pretty sorry for a while because it's going to be in shock. So don't let that throw you if you do this and yours looks pretty pathetic for a while. Okay, it seems like I got 1, 2, 3, 4 good size, 5 good size cuttings, or yeah, divisions. So I can put those in 5 different spots. Now this is also another nice long one. I might find a spot just to go ahead and put it in the garden and then protect it during the heat. That way I don't have to cut off this main tap root. Actually, this one's 2. There's 2 there. So there gives me how many plants from one division. Now this one has teeny tiny roots right there. I might go ahead and be able to keep that one or save it, but I don't hold my breath. So I'm going to go ahead and replant this one. Make sure I get all the root down in there and push the soil back in here around it that I took out. And I firm it in well. And then I'm going to make sure I water this in well. Make sure all the air pockets are pretty well worked out. And let that revive there. So I'm just going to go ahead and pot up these others the same way I did the first, except for that one. That one's pretty long. So I may go ahead and put that out in the garden like I said before. So and I have another one of these up in the front garden that if somehow, some way I killed all of these, I still would have a plant. So, but like I said, they're called Hardy Geraniums for a reason. They're pretty hardy. That one I may need to cut off just to get it in here. It's not going to hurt anything. Wrong side. There. And I'm running out of soil, so I'll have to go mix up some more of my homemade potting mix. You can use regular potting soil if that's what you have. I just make my own because I use so doggone much of it that it really saves me money. And I have a post and a video on how to make your own DIY potting soil. So okay, I am out. So that being said, I will take the rest of these over to my big pile and get them planted up. And these I'll put underneath my deck in the shade so that they can get established or survive through the next little heat wave. And then when it calms down, cools down, I'll put them out in the garden. And by then I might know exactly where I want to put them. Right now, it's still kind of a mystery as to where I would like them to be. So there you go. Dividing hardy geranium to get more. I just wanted to take a moment and share with you one that I had divided and transplanted last year. This one is called Tiny Monster. And you notice there's a big hole right there in the middle. That is not the plant. That's where a raccoon fell off my porch rail when he was trying to get the bird feeder and smashed it in the center. Otherwise, it would have been a big mounding, almost like a bush. But yeah, that's one that got transplanted last year. Is starting to bloom. There's some blooms down in there. I don't know. I'll try to primp it up in the middle and see. But I wanted you to see how big, just in 1 year, it has gotten and is beautiful at the feet of your roses, especially climbing roses where they get kind of bare at the bottom. These are really good to put there because they cover up the knobby knees of your roses that aren't blooming low on the canes. And they're just real pretty. This one also blooms all summer long.